Hello, this is Harwin from SU Wolf, and the topic is breakdown of what's considered cool. So, by no means I consider myself cool in the sense that I'm at the high top of the mountain and telling you what is cool and what is not. But from a marketing point of view and from those kind of considerations, I'll give a breakdown of what is considered cool in the marketplace or in general how you can structure and reverse engineer cool. So it sounds kind of uncool, but here we go. So basically what is cool is having a kind of looking back to the situation and thinking and looking yourself at that situation. It's kind of like the term is kind of like breaking the fourth wall that happens in movies, but you're actually doing it in real life. So basically, when you're talking to someone or interacting, and maybe you should just sitting there analyzing how you're doing, you're having a perspective over how it looks to others, and from a longer distance how it goes on and how people are perceiving you having that kind of idea while you're still doing something. So how does it go about in real life? So if a comedian makes a joke and nobody laughs at it, so one way would be to just maybe sulk and maybe move on to the next joke. But then other thing would be analyzing that from a perspective. Yes, okay, nobody laughed at it. So the comedian can then make a statement of saying that yes, it was a bad joke. I realize, and maybe he could joke about the joke not doing so well. So those kind of things. But in a larger perspective, what to do is finding out people what they're actually doing and commenting on it, having an outside perspective, and it's about having a deep understanding of how people are in real time uh, perceiving what you're doing, and whatever negative that is happening, you kind of counter it with or admit that it is happening. You acknowledge that this is something that is happening, so that you make that comfortable for them. So basically this is what people who are good at this kind of stuff, they are considered cool. And sometimes people that they don't have this kind of judgment, sometimes maybe they're not a lot of analytical people, and they just go about their own way, and they don't think how people are perceiving them or how someone is responding to them, and they just go about their way. And this is what something that they considered it as uncool, and it's just a matter of whether you realize this thing or you don't. So it's not about someone who is born cool or the people can't change. So it's just about being aware of what is happening in the outside environment, and like in movies, someone breaks the fourth wall and sees that yes, this is what is happening. So but you do it in real life, you see that if you're talking to someone for a long time, you see that both of you are maybe getting tired and those kind of things. So you look at that from an outside perspective and say yes, we both are getting tired of all this. And maybe you realize that something about yourself while you're maybe giving a speech or something, that you realize that it's getting boring, or it is people are getting uninterested, or they're laughing at it. So you can make a comment about it from that from perspective, from an outside perspective, looking at the situation how it is, and then coming back to reality and commenting on it. So this is what a lot of rappers do, a lot of the social celebrities, what they do is they find out in the society what all things are happening, and they kind of become a rebel on it, or they comment on it. And if there are some things that are bad or those kind of things, so they cover all those things in their raps and those kind of things. And a lot of times in those TV shows, you think that you might be listening to someone talk. So maybe it's like you're watching Two and a Half Men, and then you see something negative that Charlie Sheen is doing, but he's aware of that thing and he makes a joke about it, and just like that, he becomes cool. So you can structure cool. It's not something that is maybe you're born with, or just a matter of something that you have or don't. So it's just technical skill. If you can practice going out of the perception and thinking what is happening, how people are perceiving, and then getting back and making the changes accordingly, so technically it becomes cool. So it kind of is uncool to talk about what is cool. So I also have an advice for you that if you're doing this, it's rather that you don't talk about it technically what you're doing, because you might be interested in sharing that, see, I just did that and those kind of things. But a lot of times, because people do it naturally itself, so it's better that you don't tell that what technically you're doing, because people don't like to hear that, because just if you tell them technically what you're doing, the magic goes away. So but because I wanted to explain it to you so that you can learn this, I will be explaining this all kind of marketing aspects to you without caring about all that stuff. So this is how you can structure something that is cool or uncool. So it's not that difficult, and don't think that you cannot be cool or cannot make something cool. So it's just a matter of these technicalities that I shared with you. So if you want, you can go through this podcast again. It was a little complicated. So the basic gist is just breaking the fourth wall and looking at from the outside perspective that what is going on here. And if you see something that is negative, or something that is the elephant in the room, you have to address it, and you have to show that you're aware of this. So that is just you can technically how you can structure cool in maybe a copy yourself, or any kind of situation. So thank you for listening to SE World. This is Harwin from SE World signing out.